Do you think the United States is still committed to Article 5? I mean, would it go to war in Europe if one of the member states were threatened or attacked?
There was always a question about this. You will recall that the French insisted on the General de Gaulle, President de Gaulle at that time, to create the force de frappe because they were not absolutely certain that the United States would come to the aid of Europe if it faced nuclear destruction itself. We can also recall that the French removed themselves from the military structure for several years, and then they came back. So when we look at NATO, it has always been this issue that this alliance, which is the longest in history, and I would say the most successful in history, has endured many, many stresses and has survived those stresses. So any word about the death of NATO is certainly premature. But there are some disturbing signs. I mean, Donald Trump clearly wants to pivot towards the Pacific. I do not know if he has a sufficiently good understanding of geopolitics that you cannot show weakness in one area and then display strength in another area. So this is a struggle, but I think overall Mark Rutte is probably correct that the United States is in there, in NATO. It is committed to defending NATO, but the question is how much that commitment will be in terms of concrete terms as there's a shift. As Europe starts to gear up, it will take some time for Europe to scale up. But we should never underestimate the capacity of Europe to scale up. And I think we need to look at Germany. There has been a sea change in the case of Germany, how they approach geopolitics and what they plan to do under the new chancellor. And I think that is really instructive and essential.